Hello, this is Lesley, Ormsby, psychic medium, healer, spiritual teacher, and of spiritual stuff and mystical stuff as well, and so much more. Now, part of that so much more is that I do these horoscope, astrological star sign readings that are monthly. And just to help, with maybe a little bit of guidance or clarity or confirmation with what you're right in right now at this moment. But generally a little bit of a forecast into the following month or the following days, following month for you. So, just to get you through basically, and just to, like I said, a little bit of clarity. Anyway, so anyway, this read is for the sign of Capricorn for the month of April 2020. So we're in day 12 of the lockdown here in New Zealand. So, things might be getting a little bit honky-dory for you there, Capricorn, a little bit stir-crazy for a lot of us. But what I'm hearing is like tuning into the moon energy, and it's a wonderful time to, for you and all of us actually in the world to revisit, contemplate, to release what serves us no purpose for our highest good. And sort through some stuff, like declutter in that way, declutter mentally, emotionally, but also physically, around the house, around the property, to help one get through this time, but also to help one get through this time in the sense of letting go of, addressing things about ourselves, basically, our relationships with ourselves and with others. Especially, and learning to love ourselves more and be grateful, and honor ourselves basically as well, in the most loving and greatest way we can, that is of a high vibration. So, and it's just in lifting our energy, and there are a lot of thought patterns. Oh, I'm going to go with that one, but these two actually, because I'm nearly right bent then. So it's like, so it's right. You might be finding something might be happening with you that, like, because I'm heard the word bent, and nearly you might be bending over backwards to do things for somebody or or something, somebody. Yeah. And you may have been doing that in your life, in your past life, in this life, that is, I'm more talking about, but also in the past life, things that's come up. So anyway, I have these new cards that I've had for a couple of months, and I haven't really been utilising or using them with these monthly reads, but Spirit have brought them forward to begin with in the rest this month. So, and I guess, where are we going? With the way with the energy is moving at the moment, it's really good, and it's I've found anyway to really, since I've been more studying the moon and working with the moon, and I know she's been a big part of my life anyway. I've always been attracted to the moon energy, but not really fully understood it. So the moon energy is coming in right now to get you to connect with her even more, especially even more now with, that's for all of us. So we can get an understanding of what, the energy could be about and what we're needing to release or, hold on to, as in not hold on to in a negative way, but to hold and learn, take the learning from that. And so we can move forward in our lives. And it's just like Spirit had just given me this vision of, it's just like for thousands of years, and a lot of the witches and the warlocks and the healers and of, way gone, thousands of years ago have utilized the moon's energy, the sun's energy, the planetary energy, and the way the planets move around in the universe to grow stuff, whether it be, food, and to move, to shift around, like the seasons and everything. So it's about figuring that out for ourselves, how and adapting. Okay, I'm hearing the word adapting, and learning about how we can adapt ourselves to it and utilize the energy that the moon has to help us through our ebbs and flows through life, because we're going through a similar sort of pattern. And so this is what a lot of this month is about. okay? The month starting from our lockdown, basically, from what's already, you know, like you've probably gathered. So we're going to go, anyway, they're going to move into that. So anyway, I need to go back a bit because I'm just wanting to get go with this reading. So anyway, welcome to my channel. My sub tribe, and it's very funny because it's like there's so much going on in your head, probably why I'm like this. It's like just want to get going and do stuff for some of you. So anyway, once again, and you may be getting distracted quite often as well, so from what you're doing, because your mind gets in the way, so which is happening to me right now. So it's like, oh my god, because I wasn't like that this morning when I first started doing these videos, but now we're going into your energy and the other energy. There's a lot like being this, so it's like there's a lot going on and I want to talk, but it's like just finding that time. It's okay to talk, but it's also taking time to come back and have a think about what you've just spoken about, who you've just spoken about that to, and what, you know, and who you have just spoken about as well. And not to send, it's being mindful about what you speak about, what you share, because of the energetic connection. The energy expands. It's such a powerful time at the moment. So it's a really taking heed about what we are, who we are, why we are the way we are, and and making those adaptations within our psyche, basically. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so therefore we change what is, we change the energy, or we adapt. We, you know, just using different words, we assist even the energy to change in a nicer, more balanced vibration to where we in a higher vibration as well to what it was before. Okay, so it's more, I'm hearing the word palatable, more pleasant, more, you know, go with the flowish, you know, and that sort of thing, you know, calm. Okay, so we can better hear what is really going on within us, but also without us. Okay, and staying in and being in our own space. Okay, anyway. So back to there. So anyway, these reads are for the sign of Capricorn for the month of April. For the month of April in the year 2020. So, like I say, welcome to my YouTube channel, or starting to say, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're wanting to get, get touch base with more content that I'm putting out. Also, please, if you're watching this on Facebook, please either like or follow my page if this is something that resonates with you as well, and to find out more content that I'm putting up as well. Okay, so the other side is that these reads are just a reminder for those of you who don't know and who have been watching these videos, but also those who are new. These are general reads, so it may resonate with you. If it does, wonderful. If it doesn't, then just take what does and leave what doesn't. The other thing is too, if it doesn't, or if it does and you're wanting to find out a little bit more clarity or add on to the story, or or whatever, check out one of your other signs that you may be under, okay, maybe in or connected with. So what I mean by that is I'm a Gemini, but I follow my sun sign more so, or my star sign more. So I will check out which is the personality side of me. And I will check out my moon, rising, and or Venus, which is the emotion, soul, or love signs, love planets, energies that I fall within or connected with, according to my birth date and year that I've born. And that usually has something more, or a little bit more information, or if it's something, like I say, doesn't resonate with you, there's something in there may resonate with you more. Okay. Let me see. And if you're wanting to book a reading, please, contact me with my details are in the box above on Facebook, or in the description box below on YouTube. So it's be all done now. Finally, it's like there's a pretty cool energy there. Spirit are just saying, with these cards that have come out for you from the Moonology cards, the first two that dropped out is, what do you need to release? So this is kind of like this, I suppose these are the theme for the month, okay? And you probably think, oh, I had that theme last month, but it was a slightly different way. So there's something else that, like this month, that we're in this space that everybody is enforced in is, okay, something we all have are required to do, not just for our own good, but for the greater good. So, and it's a good time to work on what is it that you need to release. And there's the waning moon, and okay, the waning moon is about wrapping up old projects, basically, and to create, new stuff to come in. But we can't do that properly if we are like hanging on to old stuff, or we're not dealing with our own shit, basically. And so this period of time that we're in is going to like bring us, excuse me, I'm like belching a bit there. It's going to bring up stuff that is going to do that to you. What I'm just doing now is like not regurgitate. Well, yeah, regurgitate, but have this indigestion. Something is not going to fit right with you, and it may rub you up the wrong way. But it's like now you need to deal with it. About why does that rub you up the wrong way, and ask yourself different questions. Does it really? What is it? What is it about that rubs me up the wrong way? And the other, and going, where is it really? Is it something that I can just let go of? What does it really mean? Is it really imperative that job gets done right now? Okay, so you know what I mean. So there's all these sorts of things going. Can I let that go? And should I let that go? How do I let that go? And it's like, but we have to visit ourselves. So there's things like that. So it's releasing that, but it's also like they're talking about going. There's a lot of decluttering in the physical sense as well. So it could be decluttering your body. Okay, it's a time it'll bring up things about maybe your health that you need to change with the way that you look at yourself and what you're doing. It could be to do with addictions. It could, addictions could be anything. It could be food. Whatever food that you're eating is changing the way that you're eating. This period of time may give you that. A chance now to actually focus on your eating plan, what you're putting in your body, and make some adaptations to it, and show you more about how certain foods react to you, or you react to these different foods that you put into your body. So it could be that you may notice that you're not drinking enough water, or you may be drinking too much coffee. It may be that a chance and opportunity for you to quit smoking, and you might find yourself smoking, starting to smoke again, and look at that and not, and study that, why, it's all sorts of things. It could be one of those. It could be, anything to do with that. It could be just, looking at the food that you're eating in the sense it might be time to grow a garden, looking more into that and appreciating what we have in our life, that is around us. And so Spirit are talking about, and the big thing at the moment with Spirit is and, with everybody at the moment with the work that way, it's like getting back to basics. So, growing and planting our food. So some of yous already are, I get that, but some of yous may be more and maybe not. But it may be that it's just looking at other things where we can adapt and use that are in our, and make some adjustments and changes within the way we work with our body. So that it's also not physically moving our body to shift what we put in our mouth, basically, to shift it and, to eliminate it, work on the elimination process as well and how we do that. It's really, really there's a big shift, big energy at the moment for you and for everybody, okay? So, what do you need to release? Okay, so I'm feeling obviously there's old habits and old ways of thinking, basically, and old ways of being that serve you no purpose, and it's just for a change now, and something that you be resisting. So, there's that general theme in that way with what do you need to release, is, just to give you a few ideas or clues. Okay, so the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon, and you know what, we're actually coming into a full moon, which is on the 8th, 9th, or 7th, 8th, depending on which part of the universe or the country, the world you're in. So, hang on, I better show you that one. The end of the world, end of the world, really. don't know why I said that. So end of a tough cycle. And for some of you, it might feel like it's the end of the world. And it's like, and you know what? The full moon in Capricorn is that card. Even though the full moon, like now, is in Libra, it's not, like physically in this time and moment, but this card is full moon in Capricorn. So there is obviously something definitely there that is, that you're working through for a lot of yous. Not all of yous, of course, and different varies in degrees and levels, depending on what that is. So interesting that you've got the waning, the waning moon, which actually follows the full moon. So that's a good time to wrap up old projects and things like that and release things. Work with conflicts with yourself and with relationships that are around you. Absolutely amazing. So that's, so they're just like, even though you're probably doing that now, but there's more of that to come, but in a different way, okay? Because whatever you're doing now, we're in a waxing moon, so there's it's a good time to to get some, typically it's a good time to get projects moving. We're not going to go there, we're just going to focus on that. So on this one, on saying that, because otherwise I'll just take me on a real tangent. But there's full moon in Capricorn, which is really cool because that's you, that's what we're doing, who we're doing now is you. So that's awesome. So what it's saying is, like I said before, it's the end of a tough cycle approaches. So, and this full moon is actually a super moon, this moon. And so what they mean by that is, like, the moon is, when the way that it orbits around, like the planets are shifting, and it looks like it appears bigger because it's coming closer to the Earth. That's the way, I can't explain it properly, but it's the way the sun orbits, and it makes the planet or the moon appear bigger. But actually, from what I've read, it's something about the moon is, it's kind of like it makes the moon appear bigger. It comes closer to Earth a little bit, like a bigger, but that's because it's coming closer to Earth in a way. God, I can't remember because my head's in another space. Anyway, something to do that, so it's bigger basically, and it's got a bigger energy, and it's in Libra. So check out one of your other signs, because if you have got Libra in your signs as well, it may be a little bit more intense for you because Libra is in one of my signs. It's on my emotional sign. So for me, it could be more emotional for me. That's going to come, that will come through with this full moon, and it's kind of happening in a way now. But I'm just going to read that one because I feel like I need to read it out. So that meaning in that box. So these are in this box. So this is a new deck of cards for me. And I haven't really studied it as much as I would like to. However, by reading through messages like this, it kind of reinstates or instills stuff within me, information within me. So I'm just going to, like with you too, so I'm hearing like reading, getting more information and research has something to do around anything about keeping your mind occupied with other things rather than thoughts that serve you no purpose. Okay, so the end of a tough cycle approaches. I'm just going to read the gist of it, the main part of it. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. So there you go. Sometimes we've got to put in effort to ourselves and to make things work, and whether that be change, adapting things about ourselves and or around in our environment. What are you going to do about it, and or career or whatever. Okay. Now we're going to go to the tarot cards because we're all joined to this today for you, for the reads that I'm doing today. So Capricorn, what do we have for Capricorn Spirit? What do you have for Capricorn? And that can help assist them in figure out stuff for the month of April in the year 2020. So we have these two cards that are falling out. So I feel like there's a few more to come here. And we'll just get a see what comes up. So by the way, I shuffle all these cards, or especially the cards that I use, and between each read, and put your energy in them. So, and I'm always like, when I connect, you will hear me mumbling away there, and in a good way, of course, about, I'm asking for, the cards and the energy and assistance from our guides, your guides and helpers to, show me what needs to come, what comes out, and it comes out in that way. So I should like to shuffle and see what jumps out or flips out in some sort of way. Cool. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, so first of all we got the Two of Pentacles, and he's in this card here. He's like throwing up the coins, and he's throwing them up in the air. And when I'm seeing that, and what I'm feeling with that is that it's everything's up in the air, but it's like with money situations, finance, career, job, everything like that. So. But it's about change and versatility. So what the energy, like we've just talked about there, is about you're going to be working through it. And in this time and space that we find ourselves in is, Spirit was just talking about not to get too anxious and not overthink it, because it's about us now really figuring out, and seeing and realizing that actually we're maybe not that versatile as what we thought we are with change. And how does that look? But it's also about bringing in other ideas that you may have had before, to implement them in whatever you're doing now for work, career, business, whether you're in, or uni or school or whatever. It's studying, research, or writing a book, whatever it is. In the family, it could be marriage, divorce, going to divorce or whatever, or going into marriage. I don't know why I said that, but, there's a lot of things. It's like across the board. But change of versatility and how it affects your finances, because the Pentacles is typically about, what do we call it? Finances, work, material possessions, and, career, financial health, wealth, and that sort of thing. So for you, there's a strong energy about that, but there's change of versatility. So it's like you've already looked at that, and you've moved into the next stage from the Ace of Pentacles, of starting something new, or a new way of thinking and being towards, the way that money comes in or out, and your relationship with money, okay, and how that works for you. So there's something to do with that, and looking into that with this, what do you need to release, okay, in there. Okay, so then we have the King of Swords and the Hierophant that comes out, that fell out together. And, the King of Swords is, here's the theme around the King of Swords is that he is, and, comes in with that energy with an authoritative. He's an authority figure who is firm but fair. So it's like, and, the King of Swords is typically about thoughts, words, actions, the actions that we take with our words, that we speak and think. Life challenges. It's about communicating your ideas, making decisions, and asserting your power. So it's like, and we can get in our head sometimes and think all the not good things, but it's like, what about all the good things? So it's finding that balance in there. But I feel like the King of Swords has come up, so you'll either find a bit more balance in there, or a lot more balance in there, because he's the end of the deck. He's the end of the, not the deck, but that theme, that suit. That's the word I'm looking for. So, and he's like sitting in his throne. He's got his feet are grounded. He's got that purple, so he's balanced in between heaven and earth, and it's like he's grounded. He's here. He's not floating around. Even though his sword's up in there, it's like pointing, but there's also freedom. There's freedom, because I see butterflies in there. Around with his thinking, to what he's thinking. There's more freedom, more clarity. There's butterflies there above his head and to the side, but there's also birds flying above him as well as on the throne in front of him, in the front there. as well. So that butterflies for me symbolize freedom. So there's something about there's freeing himself of, thinking and I'm feeling what's, in not a good way. So it's something, there's a lot more clarity, okay, with where he wants to go. And going back to this one here, it's like, the end of a tough cycle. It's like you've got out of your head. You're getting out of your head, in that sense, in the sense that it stops you from doing, from what you want to do, where you want to go. Where are they going now with that? But he's also got this butterfly in his heart, so across his chest. So then that heart chakra. So just take a deep breath, and because you've got this, and we've all got this, but you've got this. This is for you, Capricorn. So so it's like being firm on yourself, but also fear on yourself. It's being firm with others, but also fear with others about, because this is all about you, of course. And there's that sense of, I'm hearing like stamping your authority, but being, fear with that as well, and being mindful about your why you're doing it. Cool. So then we have the search for spiritual meaning in the Hierophant. So that's what he's all about. So, which is interesting because those two fell out. So, and we are absolutely in this time and space where, okay, we are, the Hierophant is sitting there and he works on himself. He's working on, the spiritual meaning of this, that, and everything, and whatever is going on with him. And we're in that space now where you have this opportunity to go that bit deeper and to look within, because when we do that, we start to open the doors, and you've got three bloody major arcana cards here, because there's something major going on, and a beautiful, amazing change with the way that you are being with yourself and with others, okay, and for the future. Pretty cool. So, and with this, with these two cards coming out, the Fool has come out. So, and the theme of the Fool is, about the urge to change overcomes the fear involved. So it's like, taking that leap of faith and beginning something new or something different, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, or soulfully, In either way, there's it's the way that what you're looking at, your outlook is different. There's something new in it may be that you make, it may be that because you will see stuff changing, and this is what this is about, that you may end up apologizing to people. You might end up apologizing to yourself, and that may be something like new for you to actually like really mean it and not have to like want to do it. Or you may see something in a different way and handle it very differently to how you would have, because you've overcome something. Okay, so it's not just about fear, it's overcoming, some of it is about fear of what the other person might think, or, it might be just stubbornness that you are overcoming, and not seeing the greater picture and the bigger picture when it's like stubbornness, but it's like finding that balance between it and figuring out, what is actually my shit and what is not. And quite often we have to make, sometimes we have to make decisions as to where is this, when we don't really want to do something, is this, what I'm going to do, is this for the greater good, in order to honor myself, but also keep the peace. And sometimes we don't always have to be right, is what I'm trying to say. That's what Spirit trying to get me to say, or channel through me. And just interesting hearing myself say that, are trying to get me to say. So I feel like sometimes you really want to, some of you may really want to say, I apologize, or make things right, or blah, blah, blah. But it's the energy behind it. That's what they're talking about. The energy behind that apology, the energy behind that explanation, or the way that you balance things out with somebody or something or some situation. It's the energy behind that makes the difference, that makes the change. And sometimes And there may be a new beginning in there for some of you in that way. Some of you will be taking an absolute leap of faith in, total change, and doing something. It's like, right now, I know this isn't going to work, and how, like for when this happens, and you might be making up your mind that actually, no, I'm going to be looking for another job. Or I know I'm going to wrap up this business or this project or this way of, it could be this business, this project, this way of being, this way of thinking, whatever it is. Some of you are going to really wrap it up and take that leap of faith. And it could be that you're going into something. It may be that you, it's for some reason, it may be that you keep your day job as long as you can, but you may be like entering into start to begin a new project, like going into, say, a business, beginning that. So it'd be about part-time, because I feel like some of you may actually be forced into doing that in some way or form. It's like quite exciting, isn't it? And some of you will be doing that leap of faith in the sense of about what you're going into work with. And they're reminding me of me when I went in to do this full time. And it's like people were like, thought, are you sure? And it happens, with the income that I want and that I need and that that I require, that I desire. And it didn't happen overnight, but it is happening. It did happen. And it's like, and it's having that faith and going on that journey okay? So, and there are still bigger things happening, and that's what they're wanting to say. Things will happen and bigger things happen. We're just going to have faith in the journey of where we're going and put in some effort. It's like, okay, that's good. And so what is that effort? What are you willing to put into it to get you to where you need to be or want to be or desire to be? In your plan. So vision board, vision plan. Okay. That's all I'm hearing from you at the moment. I was going to do another card, but I don't feel like I need to. So, actually, that's what it is. There is another card there, and it's love. The Lover's card has come out, but I feel like that is more, the theme around the Lover's card is about love and choice. So it may be that you are going to be asking someone to marry you. It could be that you, it may be that you, or even I'm hearing go back into a relationship after separation because you figured out some shit, and it's like, well, both of you have figured out some shit, and you may have grown up, and you may be thinking, oh, well, maybe we should give this another try. And for some of you, it may be within the relationship that you're in, and you may be not going there, and it may be that actually you've realised that you, this relationship isn't that great. Maybe we should be friends instead, just stay as friends, or, part ways, or, and separate and be as friends, and keeping it amicable for the greater good of one and all, especially if you have children, okay? And so it could be that. So it's about not just being in the lover situation of people coming in that sense, but maybe that you find love within a relationship in a different way, and whatever that is for you, and also that love relationship with yourself, okay? But it's also about choice. So within that, there are choices that need to be made, of course. That's pretty cool. So, and this is like the end of a tough cycle approach. So that comes back to that as well. Anyway, what another major arcana card, and you know what? It's strength, inner courage and strength. And look at her. You have the inner courage and the strength within you to overcome, move forward, transition, whatever it is for you that you're working through at the moment and through this whole process this month, to move through it. And even whether you're a male or a female, even though there is a female in this picture, okay, cool. And look at this amazing lion. Because that's what the lions are about, is courage and strength. Courage, and she has the courage to be sitting by this lion or standing by this lion and opening its mouth. It's like, really, that's what I find fascinating with that. So you have the courage. And then the sun is there as well. So the sun for me is like, there's a new beginning, a new day, a new beginning. just like in here, the Fool. There's the Sun is in there, and there's a butterfly there. So there's a sense of freedom. A sense of freedom coming, okay? But you're freeing yourself from whatever. Yay. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So God bless you all, and God bless you all through this time. Stay safe, stay well, or keep well. And let's see, what else do I want to say? God bless you with love, peace, harmony, and joy, excitement and adventure, now and always. Okay then, bye for now.